on the CT side and over at B, where we're actually seeing right now people pushing up on the CT side again to try and see what the terrorists are actually doing. I feel like CT aggression is like the latest flavor on this map, but I'm looking forward to learning a lot more. I feel like these teams, they have to show us something cool here.
Yeah, even pushing into that middle connector as counter-terrorists and setting up some kind of a crossfire in there for like a delay, for if the terrorists are going to do a delayed execution outside, already having players there. But yeah, Ali and that inner push, they're two places where great spots to gather information as a defense. So if you push someone up on that top ramp and you don't see anything, you can keep 4 members outside. That's why, you know, terrorist teams, you'll see they often put 1 or 2 people down there initially, at least to force the defenders back.
I look at this. Renegades going obviously for an execute here. 3 smokes is very unusual for a pistol round on terrorist side. The theme for a long time has actually been having a lot of people with armor. You can tell the Australian team here ready for it, and we'll see if they can mount something. We already see the 2 smokes that are being set up on T-spawn. We know where they're going to land towards that A bomb site to try and build that wall of smoke, but look at the rest of the team here sneaking out a little bit. We'll see Azza pushing out a pop dog and trying to get a bit of information. There's that wall of smoke that's so well known by now, and he gets a shot through the vice going down. Great start here for Renegades, and Sponge pushing in. They're creating a huge diversion, and look at this, the Danish team, they're biting, they're rotating back to B, and there's a huge mistake. The bomb goes down in A, and Cajun stuck in C. Connector, Carrigan going down. Havoc with the shot, double kill for Azza, and Cajun gonna be gone. It's Sponge with the kill, and Renegades picking up the first round. That was a terrific strategy, completely outplaying TSM.
Yeah, that was absolutely beautiful. 2 members pushing up inner, really just crunching on that defense that was trying to figure out which bomb site to rotate through. I mean, TSM just gets completely confused. They're not sure where to go, and that was just so well done from Renegades. An exclamation point on that pistol round.
Fantastic, and especially if you just consider for a moment that that standard wall of smoke executes has been countered so many times now. Almost every team knows to stop it. So instead of just throwing that right away, they show that they're doing it, but then they rotate back to B, and or they push in B, and you can tell they bought that immediately.
The timing of that push on inner was perfect. It catches off the player just jumping on top of trains trying to rotate. He gets got completely off guard and obliterated. Now here's that push towards Ali. JKS playing far back just to watch for this, but Dupree gathers no information.
And I suppose more evidence that Renegades are fairly well prepared for this, because they see it coming. The single pop flash out, no result at all for TSM. Yam going to take down Carrigan. There's still 1 flash on Dupree, so just got to keep an eye on whether or not he could use that somewhere. But so far, it's looking like a very calm, very cool round here. Second on the terrorist side. Device going to be going down to Havoc, and Dupree playing close here with the 5-7. Going to get a good headshot in, and he's also almost alone. Just Cajun left here, and he drops. So great round again.
Yeah, nicely done from Renegades. Nice composure, patience, taking that outer bomb site. They clean things up, only losing 1 member. It's a very good anti-eco. And this is, I mean, Fiflarian said it at the desk. He said at one point when he saw these guys play, it was the best, or it was that, that was...
I think it was at Face It, wasn't it?
Yes, and it was one of the best T-side trains he'd ever seen executed, and starting things off very well as Renegades.
Yeah, if you're a team like Renegades and you're definitely going to be the underdog going into a lot of tournaments, it actually does make sense to try and become the masters of one of these new maps. And yeah, they're doing a really fine job here. Yam picking up a double kill with the Tech 9, and it's going to leave Dupree and Sipnix left. And Dupree sneaking up, going to get caught by Azza. No problem at all here. 3 quick rounds for Renegades, very convincing. What do you want to see out of TSM here? They've always got to put a stop to this.
Well, the first thing I see is Cajun B just snap buying that AWP as soon as he possibly can. So a lot of emphasis on having that weapon. It's even a glass cannon. He's got no armor behind it. But I'd like to see that. I mean, they're going to have to manage these choke points early on in the rounds. A good thing for Renegades is they only lose 1 member in those 2 anti-ecos, so they've got money built up now. So they've got a little bit of a bank by not losing too many members in that round. So they're going to have a couple buys in them before TSM can stop the momentum.
And they also have 4 Molotovs this round, so if they get the bomb down or if they just want to clear corners, they can pretty much do whatever they want here. 2 of them already being tossed all the way back in that A courtyard. Cajun up here, he's actually going to get forced back. That's a 3rd Molotov. Look at this, they're just firebombing out the Danes, and Havoc going to take that kill. Quick, no body armor on Cajun. He goes down, JKS with the shot. Finally, Dupree with the reply. They need this, but JKS is on fire. He takes 2 before Sipnix finally chimes in, and now it's going to be a 1v3 here for Sipnix. He drops 1 there, very low on health. I'm not sure if he knows. If he does, he's got a good chance. He's got 1 more HE grenade. He can actually kill 1 immediately if he gets a chance. Is he going to be able to use it here? HE in hand. Smoke is going to go up. If he just puts 1 down, it's going to be perfect. He's going to go for the rifle instead, not quite clearing it. There it is, right in between them. It almost takes out both, but not quite. And the return grenade, Sipnix is down. And it's going to be Renegades taking 4 in a row. What a close end to that round.
What an incredible execution on the fly. All the flashbangs coming out. We were on Cajun B with that AWP. The amount of times he got blind and re-blind, it seemed like he was going to recover and find at least one shot. But he was blinded. He was Molotoved back. They threw a Molotov on top of the train even to force him off there. So very nice coordination from Renegades. 4-0 so quickly and so convincingly.
Very, very cool right now. TSM, I mean, it's a bit too early, I think, for any kind of panic on this side, but certainly they've been put on notice, and they must have realized by now that Renegades, they love playing this map here. Azza with a great triple spray down, and we could hear him shout. They're feeling really fired up here, the Australian team, which is one of the things they're known for as well.
Yeah, this is nice stuff. He's going to get a 4th kill in this round. He could go for the ace here. Dupree standing behind this last train, and he's going to find him, but he can't get the kill. Dupree ends it, so that's a little bit heartbreaking. He's got armor, he's got a chance to do more damage, but Yam's going to take him out. Now going into this next buy round for TSM, how do they want to change things? I would imagine, like, they can get aggressive on these choke points. If they can get aggressive down these train lanes, they do have a double op set up now, so they go the complete opposite route. I thought they would maybe try and push up on top of the trains, not let those executes go unpunished. But instead, they just want the ops to stay a little bit farther back still.
Double AWP is, I mean, we talked about this on Dust 2. It's such a big investment, and if it works out, obviously, that's amazing, but they got to be a little bit careful. Sponge setting up for an early smoke, very, very fast there. Device going to counter smoke out and block off the lane, and actually does hit Carrigan a bit there, so maybe a little bit jumpy here on the TSM side, whereas Renegades, they're looking fully focused, but Carrigan and Device with 2 very, very good opening frags, and now winning this round 5v3. You're on the CT side. It should be trivial. And we're going to see if it is. Molotov, HE combination to take down Havoc, and it's Yam and JKS left. What can they achieve in a 5v2 like this? Damage.
Get 2 or 3 kills, because you know they this double op setup. If you can just find the kills, lower the economy, and they can't afford that always moving forward. If you can consistently get a couple kills, unfortunately, this was read wonderfully by TSM. They get those initial 2 kills in the yard outer, and then you just see an over rotate once that smoke comes down the lower ramp, because they know they've eliminated half the attack. So now they shut it down. They have the bomb. No reason to save here for Renegades. They should just try and go and try and aim map some kills.
Yep, everybody's got 5,000 or more on that Australian side, so they can easily throw away these rifles and try and do some damage, and that's going to be just fine. Nice boost over there, which is a new feature of this version of Train. You couldn't do that in the CSS or 1.6 versions. Just try and see if you can boost over and look up, catch someone in the C connector there. JKS trying to push down. Both going to be dropped there, so a flawless round from the Danish team. Probably give them a bit of confidence back.
Yeah, that's good. So they stop it at 5, but crucially, everyone living, you talk about the cost of this double op setup. With all 5 living, they can build up some money behind it. So well done from them. Renegades try and do something there at the end, but they just run into a firing squad.
That's how it ended up. And I mean, they did get smoked off, which means the speed with which they've been executed the previous rounds, not quite the same this time around. We'll see, though. Still plenty of Molotovs here on Renegades, and it's the 7th round, and they are setting up once again, Moses. Look at this.
Yeah, they want to catch him off guard, maybe trying to switch things up, catch him. Maybe they're thinking TSM's going to get aggressive, try and surprise them, but it looks like they're prepared to just exactly that, not be surprised by anything, not get caught off guard, not give away any free kills, although Yam eats a nade there a little bit. Some good damage dealt early on.
Yeah, that's a very cool grenade, obviously. Well worth the investment to be dishing out that much. And Carrigan a little bit further up in the courtyard, so if they were trying for those really far back Molotov executes, maybe Carrigan could be sort of in between that and see if he can make it done. This smoke here is going to land down by Ivy, the one that Azza's trying to put up here, so that's a good smoke.
Yeah, Carrigan has a Molotov still, so he's waiting for the execution to start coming in. He's waiting for the smokes and flashes to stream over so he can block the choke point off with that Molotov.
Carrigan trying to spot anybody out, not seeing them yet. And clock is running really low here at about 40 seconds now. We see all the fire and flames going into that courtyard. Carrigan trying to push out his sprays. One, they're both flashed. He gets a double, but Sponge and JKS will get the return. So now it's a 3v3, and we're down to 30 seconds. KGB, the very important kill. Dupree's there with a headshot on JKS, and now it's all on Yam. And he goes down to Dupree. A good double kill, and TSM, they bring it back to 5-2. So a comfortable round once again, only losing 2 players.
So smart from Kerrigan, playing behind that train. Once the smokes come out, once the execution, he drops his own Molotov in that choke point. They have to sit behind it or run through it. He sprays 2 down that run through it, but that gives time for his teammates to get unblind, to find an angle around a smoke, to get a little bit more comfortable and grab some angles.
Now, did you see where the flashbang came from that Kerrigan netted those double kills off? That one double kill? Was it a team flash in on top of the trains? I'm not sure if he got pop flashed in for it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know those 2 players were just running through the fire trying to find something, and they just looked the wrong way.
So fire and flashbangs, and it's just a bit too much to handle.
Bad combination.
Yeah. Similar strategies to what we saw in the pistol round here. Again, it's going to be the wall of smokes towards A, so you guys already know. But it does have the follow-up here from... and I think this one is really going to be for Connector, and then one more for... oh, actually, that bounced up a little bit. I think that was supposed to go a little bit higher. Not quite perfect. But still a pretty good round coming out so far for Renegades. Let's see if they can execute behind it, though. Kerrigan here again. The fire, the flames, the Molotovs. Oh, my God. It's a double. It's a triple for Kerrigan with the pistol. He's going to run in, pick up a Galil, turns around for the quad, but not going to get it. Still a very solid defense here from the Danish captain. It's going to leave Azar alone, and he does some good damage. A headshot on device, goes for a second one, and picks that one up. Sipnik's falling down. A lot of damage being dished out here, even though the round is pretty much lost after that triple kill.
Right, and this is the change that the TSM is making. They're saying you want to play these delayed executions, you want to go a little bit slower. That's going to allow us to get a player like Kerrigan playing the same spot as he just did last round. Get him closer up. Don't let them get up these train lanes whatsoever. Make him work for every inch that you're going to give him in that train yard.
So from 5-0 into 5-3, that's 3 in a row for TSM. Starting to build a little bit. They have good money on at least one player, but the rest are actually lacking behind. So Renegades, even though they don't have armor or anything this round, if they could just do a little bit of damage, they can still keep the Danish team somewhat low. And we'll see if they're going to be able to devise. I think he saw it coming. He's got that submachine gun.
Right, and also we talked about, as long as you're getting those kills, you force the double up out of TSM's hands for the moment. That's why Device has that MP7, farm up a little bit of a bank in this eco round and get back to it. But just getting those kills, it's such a costly setup to have to keep rebuying.
We will see. Renegades pacing themselves. Not a single grenade on them, which I'm still a bit disappointed in. Still some good, I think, opportunities on this map to catch someone, but they do bait out the shot, so at least they know where the AWP is. Cage are not going to be too happy about that.
Right, but what do they have left to do here? Like you said, no smokes, no flashes. Azer's the only one with armor whatsoever, and the bomb. So it looks like they're just going to try and draw some rotations away from the A site and just have the bomb carrier just run outside and try and get something done. But Zipic's going to get the first kill. Havoc actually falls to his death after being legged. There's a nice kill, though.
Oh, that feels so bad, but it's happened multiple times. Pyth is out somewhere cringing. Sponge trying to see if he can sneak in here. Wins the fight. He would have been able to put the bomb down, which would have been actually very impressive. So I guess it's a little bit more difficult on this version of Train, but the previous versions, getting a bomb down on the terrorist side was actually very easy, even if you only had pistols. Right,
there were a lot of good smoke executes, or even just, as the bomb carrier, buy some armor and just get into a safe spot where only nades can hit you and get the bomb down that way.
The early global offensive version of Train had a one particular barrel on that A-bomb side. You would crouch in behind and you couldn't shoot through the barrels. You'd be almost invincible behind that one. We will see, though. It's 4-5 right now, and we're in the 10th round, still first half of this game. And TSM are starting to sort of, just pull it together here. Great grenade, a follow-up as well. It's going to do a lot of damage here. Havoc and Yam both down to about half health. Yeah,
Renegades is going to need to come up with an adjustment of their own. With Kerrigan playing this aggressively, and you can see they're just throwing these nades into this choke point early on, TSM is, and it's dealing so much damage because they know that there's going to be a late execute from Renegades, so they're punishing them for being in this room for so long. And now with all this money built up, with the streak that TSM is on, they have the Molotovs behind it. They still have 3 left for anything. So this is going to be very tough for Renegades to handle.
Still waiting, still setting up outside. They really want that opening frag somewhere, and you can tell they're trying to see if they can play around the smoke here, just jump over it and catch Kerrigan, but he has that really good mix right now of aggression, but also playing it safe enough that they can't easily pick him off, and 40 seconds on the clock. Yam sneaking his way forward. There's that Molotov buying more time as Sipnix comes up with a double kill. It's Azza and Sponge going down, and I think they were playing around the brown hole, so not going to be too effective right now. Kerrigan switching up his position, playing by Electric here. Spots a couple of people, sprays one. Not going to get a bit the one this time, but Device will take down Yaman. Havoc alone. And again, damage is the key here. He can't really easily win the round, but maybe he could pick up a couple of rifles. Not going to be the case, and that's 5 rounds in a row here. And now the money is starting to flow for TSM. What's the change? What's the change Renegades need right here, Moses?
Faster pace. They can't. They're getting stuck behind these smokes. You saw Kerrigan throws his Molotov. Wasn't even during an execute. It was just at 35 seconds, and that's going to run the clock down even more. I mean, they're just getting caught not being able to do anything in these choke points because they're smoked off. They need to beat these smokes. They need to get out and win some of those fights.
You can tell. I think this is actually a tactical timeout from Renegades. As far as I can tell, no one's dropped from the servers, so
maybe a heavy inside play. They haven't really tested inside as a team at all.
TSM are holding 2 people right there. I think actually from the beginning, because a lot of teams will put 4 members in A initially. If there's no push, they'll rotate 1 back to B. But I actually think TSM are pretty heavy on B initially. But they tend to be holding far back on that site. So a couple of good smokes, you might be right. Maybe it could work out.
Yeah, that's the thing too, because you can't just get like Renegades. TSM has a great read on what they're doing now. I talked about it. Those early nades into that choke point are just dealing some early damage, softening them up for later, and they can't do their executes that they've wanted to do on that outside bomb site.
So we spoke about this on Dust 2, now it's Train instead. How many rounds do Renegades need? They are the underdog team. They're playing Terror side here. What's a good number for them to proceed into the second half?
I'd say. I mean, Renegades. You're going against TSM. You're a heavy underdog here.
Yeah.
You especially getting the first 5 rounds. They're going to want to add at least 3 or 4 more onto this to have a great half.
All right. So 8 or 9 would be a good, comfortable situation right now. That's going to be hard to.
Yeah,
reach.
That's a tall task at the moment. This 5-round streak that TSM has been on is crippling, and it's not only that, but it's just that you've seen that Renegades they didn't really have an answer to it. That's why this pause is coming out. They want to talk something over.
Yeah, what do you think on the TSM side? Obviously, they get to talk while Renegades is doing the timeout as well. How much do you think Kerrigan is going through, like trying to guess what Renegades might be doing?
Well, this is something where you can maybe see, maybe TSM comes out and he's like, all right, they're going to change something up. So let's get aggressive somewhere. Let's try and catch them off guard because they're going to be thinking about how they want to change this T side. Maybe this is where you see that player push, get a pop flash over towards Ivy, peek out, see if you can find some information, some intel.
Yeah, and TSM is one of the teams that's been doing it. That when I was talking about that earlier, that was what I had in mind. So I would love to see that. Obviously, if Renegades have identified that Kerrigan playing that aggressively in the A courtyard is part of the problem, that might be what they're focusing on. So if they just change the setup now, that's going to be hard for Renegades to deal with. There's sort of almost like a rock, paper, scissors thing going on here, like that type of logic where you're trying to guess what the other team might be doing, but you can't really know. And are they also trying to do it? So then, you just, at some point, maybe you just got to give up on it and say, what do we feel most comfortable with? I
feel like Kerrigan's just going to keep playing that spot. They haven't been able to flush him out. They haven't put any pressure on him whatsoever. He feels very safe and comfortable just sitting behind that train as long as he pleases and then just biding his time and picking his moment. And it surprises me with how coordinated we saw that original execute onto that A-bomb site in the 4th round for Renegades was, do they have a Molotov to flush him out of position? Maybe behind that smoke, they had Yam jumping up, peering over it with the AWP, trying to look down that lane. Are they able to Molotov him out of there, force him either to aggressive or trying to run away? And that maybe gives Yam the opportunity to find that pick.
Yeah, actually, as someone who's spent a little bit of time trying to Molotov some of these positions out, actually behind the trains is very difficult because there's like a high ground and a low ground to the train, and if the Molotov lands on the low ground, you can sometimes just jump up on the ledge that's on the train and you'll be out of harm's way.
Right.
What's even worse is from a terrorist point of view, it looks like you've covered all of the backside of the train, so you just run through thinking, you just think it's clean. Or they jump up on the ladder and they hide there instead. Right. So it's actually somewhat difficult, but I'd love to see Renegades make a cool adjustment. I think now is a good time for it. They've gone for a bit of a force-up as well. It's AK, Galil, and 3 Tech-9s, but a lot of smokes here. Let's see what the Australian team can bring us after they've lost 5 rounds in a row.
This is a very interesting force buy. They still have 3 members with about 2,000 on their Sponge, JKS, and Ez are all have around 2,000. So here it is. Here's that heavy. They pick up the pace a little bit.
Yeah, pushing. Look at Kerrigan now. He's uncomfortable right now. Out of position. He gets a kill, but he goes down to Azza. And Device going to miss a shot, but they can't really punish him for it. And he's sneaking close to the smoke. Sipnik's picking up one. A second one going for a third. Sipnik's. He gets all 3, and it's down to Sponge now. 1v4. That looks so good. Sponge does pick up the kill, but again, he's trapped in here. And there is pretty much no escape except for death. And Cajun's going to be the one to dish that out. So 6 rounds in a row here, but the change of pace, I mean, you did call it that was maybe a good idea. You can tell that Carrigan immediately got caught out.
Well, they didn't have enough utility to really follow that up with anything. So because you could see they put so much emphasis, 2 players of Tech9's rushing out into that lane just to force Carrigan away, just to get him out from behind there. Don't let him be comfortable. They do get that kill, they trade it off, but there's nothing to follow up behind it as they progress onto the site. Xyp9x makes a great play to begin with those 3 kills, but really no smokes in any of the other choke points.
Good early shot there, Yam trying to peek out into the courtyard, and Cajun, as the double op setup is back for CSM, and Xyp9x playing on the ramp here, does actually get caught a bit, and JKS will pick it up, and Carrigan, he's gone down to Havoc, so it is down to a 3v3, still a lot of time here for Renegades, which is really going to help them now. TSM have a pretty uncomfortable choice to make here, because they can't obviously defend both bomb sites equally, and right now they're sort of 2B, 1A. What do you think about that? I
wanted to see them split up the AWPs because Cajun B, he can play far back in the B bomb site, maybe get a pick as they enter the site if that's where he's going to do it, and he can just live. Device doing the same thing back towards the behind the old bomb train. He's got his eyes over towards the ladder room, and that's exactly where Renegades is appearing. They're going to be coming out.
Yeah, Device already been caught a bit there. They know where he is, at least. Dupree as well, but he does a lot of damage. Still needs to reload here or just use the pistol. He's playing very close here. Device gets the kill. Dupree as well takes down Havoc, and it's going to be a lot to Azza. 35 seconds. He's in a 1v2. Was just in a 1v3, and he can't clutch it. Device will take him out, and they did listen to her advice. They did bring that 1-0 back there, and that turned out to be good. You can see Dupree breathing almost a sigh of relief there. That's 7 and 5 Renegades. They're really running their heads against the wall right now.
It's hard. TSM, in my opinion, one of the best teams at not giving up silly kills in late round situations. They play very patiently as individuals when they're into these 3-on-3s. You could see Renegades virtually in the bomb site, and still no one from TSM is over peeking. They're biding their time, waiting for their moment. So very smart team in that regard. So now, this is a bit of a change for Renegades. They do have the Tech9s. They have a lot of utility, but 3 members over towards Ivy. They're going to put some pressure, but Device and Dupree have a really good read on this. Both members right outside the Ivy entrance.
It's Cajun's turn to pick up a kill, and they thought they could get close to the AWP, but Dupree was there, so a really good 1-2 combo. Device sort of pre-firing with the Tech9, which looks a bit funny. He's going to get that kill, and that will make it 8 and 5, so the dream of getting that 8 to 9 rounds on the terrorist side here for Renegades is not going to happen. The best they can do is the next 2 in a row, and they desperately need them. And the reply here, fight fire with fire and all that, Moses, they're going for a double up of their own.
Yeah, and that's going to be really interesting because they're already getting stuck behind these smokes, being slow paced, and when they've gotten into these slower strategies, they haven't been able to find anything. So they're going to try and just get these picks. Havoc's made his way out. He's going to take the peek. A lot of his angles are open, but he misses the shot. He had an opening. Yam even, he gets taken out through smoke, so that's a disaster. Both AWPs down, and Dupree even pushes and grabs one more over towards Alley.
Oh, man. Not at all an easy situation. You need to get those opening frags because you can tell that TSM is so fired up now. One missed shot and they're going to punish you for that. Azza and Sponge are left, and what could they do here?
It's interesting that they buy the double op setup and they get aggressive out the connector. Why not buy the AKs if you want to get out connector early? So those ops, you can stand behind that smoke, try and find some picks. Yeah. But when you're that aggressive, that quickly out, you're getting smoked and flashes by all the early nades from TSM. With an op that's hard to handle, with AKs you can at least get out. You have a little bit more of an opportunity, more mobility.
I mean, they're trying. They're looking for that answer all the time. You can tell how much they are. They're talking as well, Renegades here, just to try and come up with one more way to win a round. It was 5 in a row for them initially, and I was really excited. It really looked like they were about to have a terrific first half, and then it's 9 in a row for TSM. They're changing the speed. They're trying to go quick, but Carrigan picks up a double kill. It's Sponge and Yam, and then a triple. Carrigan wrecking Renegades right now. Finally, Azza, who seems to be the only one who has a reply, comes up with a double, and now has to get the ace to make it back here. And Carrigan, how does he not know where he is? He's going to end up dropping, but the Dupree's there, and it's 10 rounds straight. A block of solid blue for TSM. Azza with 17 kills, outfragging everybody on the server right now, but it wasn't enough.
No, it wasn't. It was those first 5 rounds looked great for Renegades, but unfortunately, in TSM, once they were able to get all the smokes, all the Molotovs, they're able to stall out all the executes for Renegades, and there was no response.
Now, because we do love assigning blame in situations like this, how much of it can we assign to Renegades? They had 5 rounds that were fairly, fast-paced. then did they themselves slow it down, or were they slowed down by TSM? How much of this is Renegade's fault, and how much is TSM adjusting pretty well?
Well, yeah, Renegades just didn't adjust. They didn't have an answer for once TSM got. I mean, TSM, once they got to that 5 rounds, they had the full bonus. They could buy any gun they wanted after that. They could buy all their nades, their smokes, and their Molotovs. Once it got to that point, it was obviously going to slow down. But at that point, like, that's Renegades. I liked the pause they took. They took it really early, especially in the first half after the 10th round. They knew because they were getting stalled out by TSM and they didn't have a good response at 5-5. So that's why they took that timeout. And I liked that decision, but nothing came from it. They did have that fast strategy to flush Kerrigan out, but they had nothing behind it. That force buy after that pause was really weird to me. They had 3 Tech 9s and 2 AKs, and they still had 3 members with like 2K left in the bank. It was just, why not buy the utility, smoke off the connectors, smoke the bomb train, get your wall of smokes up.
Maybe there was an opportunity there. I agree though. I do like the fact that they went for the early pause. I feel like if you take the pause when you've lost 7 or 8 rounds in a row, it's probably too late. Then it's very hard to get the team back on track there. About 10 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be heading into our second game here on the main stream between TSM and Renegades. And we've already had the first game, which NIP and CLG went very close. It was 16-13 in favor of NIP. Now we're on train here, and I think TSM got the better of that first half. I still think Renegades can bring it back here. Good pistol round now. They win it. They bring it back to 10-8. If they win the 4th round as well, then we've got a real game on our hands. Yeah,
the only scary thing is Renegades always showing a propensity in that first half, not being able to adjust, not being able to fix some issues. You know, they can get out to a hot start, but when TSM does their own adjustments and they find something that works in this terrace half, what is Renegades going to do then?
And look at Renegades. They're actually playing with only 1 armor and then, you know, kit or grenades on everybody else. Not like TSM have a lot more. They've got 2 people with armor, and one of them is that raid boss build that we talk about. Cajun B getting dropped a Tech 9 and then buying body armor himself. He's going to be hard to deal with. JKS playing close. He's going to try and put up the Molotov. He's really pacing it. That's very hard to do. Great timing, though. They're going to try and push through anyway. And Cajun very low on health. JKS trying to use that ladder. That's a very cool technicality there, but he goes down anyway. And it's back to a 4v5 here. Bomb in the bomb site. Numbers being punched in. Currently, Cajun sneaking closer. He's not afraid to take the fight. Even at 20 health, he sneaks through and gets the shot on Yam. And now he's in the CT spawn. He gets caught by Sponge. But the kit is on Sponge. He's got to get it closer. If they can't defuse this bomb, it really doesn't matter. Dupree going to be taking down Havoc, and now it's up to Sponge and Azza. They pick up a Tech 9, but Carrigan coming up from behind. That's Azza gone, and now Sponge, no chance at all. Device takes the kill, and TSM, now they're close to winning this match.
Yeah, really unfortunate that Cajun was able to do so much damage coming through the fire. 2 players shooting at him. The first one initially far back gets Goosh, so he's got to fall away from the fight. But when you have that many nades as a CT team on the pistol round, your defense, your initial point of contact on the defense has to be able to delay them a little bit longer to get those nades to rotate in, because they don't have the armor to really survive a retake. They can't soak up too much damage. So you have to give your rotations time to come in and be effective with nades and smokes and Molotovs.
Well, this leaves them in a very, very tricky spot. TSM, they've got to be feeling pretty confident now. That's 11 rounds in a row if you count in the first half as well. If they could go 16 rounds in a row, that'd be actually very rare indeed. Cajun, did he spot Azza? I think maybe he did. Going to be walking right in there, and a good follow-up flashbang, or helpful flashbang there to bring him down. No armor on Renegades. Right,
and they actually had an interstack going on at the beginning portion of that round, so now they're rotating back. But TSM's already gained a great advantage. Device peering towards CT spawn stairs. He's going to find one. Gets traded off by Havoc, so that's a good find. That's an AK-47 down. They're going to want to salvage that later on.
Yeah, if they could bring it back, especially one of the guys here with an SMG, that's going to give them so much money to work with. JKS and Yam are left. They need some more kills here. Just a couple, just to make this a bit more of a expensive round. It's a good shot through the smoke, and Dupree is down.
Yeah, pretty fortunate find, but not much more they're going to be able to do. Yam pushing up. He's got a player watching this angle. Kerrigan, he's going to get a nice headshot. So just 1 player left, and Renegades not doing too much damage in this round. This is nice work from Renegades. They're even salvaging all the rifles, make sure they keep those. There's a good find, though. Now it's turned into a pretty good situation for Renegades. That 3rd kill, that's big.
Yeah, really good job, and they only saved the Galil, not 2 AKs instead. It's also a minor problem there. TSM can make up for it if they have a really good round now where nobody dies, but that was no grenades and no armor really on Renegades. So I am impressed. I still wish they'd find just one flashbang, Moses.
That really irritates you.
Yeah, it does. There's Havoc one
Saves the day.
Havoc. Thank you so much, Havoc. That's exactly what I needed. Now, if it works now, it'll be confirmed. It'll be worth it. We'll see. He's already out here. He's lost Sponge, but trying to see if he can get some shots in himself. Dupree pushing out. Havoc does get the headshot on Carrigan. It's a good job. And here comes the pop flash in. Are they going to push behind it? Dupree will get the shot anyway and gets a double kill. Azza pushing up from behind. Picks up an AK. Can he get the shot on Sipnix? And that's the bomb down. Indeed, he will. Now a 1v3. And sneaking up behind the train here. Device up on top with that SMG. Is he going to jump him? Azza trying to look for it, but it's just too much to handle. And no body armor means that aim punch is just going to kill him.
Yeah, what an awkward angle. And Device just toying with and running back and forth on top of the train before peeking. So 13-5 now for TSM, complete control of this map. And I want to see what Device is going to do differently with the AWP, because Renegades, when they were able to afford one in the first half, one round they had Yam jumping over smokes in that connector, just trying to find someone out in the open. Another round, Havoc pushes out that team mid very aggressively and gets caught out. So what's the difference? TSM is going to send the op over towards Ivy.
Well, Yam is going fairly aggressive here. Can actually boost someone on top of the smoke. Genius play. Device not even going to get a chance here. Sponge will take him out. And that's absolutely beautiful. That's a very smart play. And JK is pushing really aggressively up here. Going to catch Dupree and Sipnix as well. And a double kill here for the Australian player. Great job in the 19th round.
Now they need to survive. They cannot let TSM do too much damage. This is the same situation that TSM was in the first half. How many kills is Renegades going to give up here at the end of this? Yam's going to drop. He falls. He goes for the repeat with that AWP. And now Cajun, that gives him some space to work with to get into position to find an angle with this op.
Carrigan playing by Electric, still 55 seconds left. Azza going to get the kill. Let's see if Carrigan can do a little bit more damage. He's alone. He gets a headshot on Havoc and is looking for a bit more. Not going to get it. Good double kill from Azza. Now, when TSM were on the CT side, we were talking about how effective Carrigan was. How much can Renegades replicate what they just did? The boost up there and then the aggressive push over at the B. How much of this is replicable for the upcoming rounds?
Well, it's tough because they got those early kills with, like you said, that clever boost over towards Ivy on top. They caught him off guard. They pushed up the inner ramp as well, the lower ramp with two players, and JKS found both those kills. So TSM, now that they know that Renegades likes to do that, they're going to be a little bit more cautious with how that aggression works out. So I can't imagine it being too successful over and over and over again. Maybe something they save for later on in the half. If they feel something slipping out of control, it's a good time. They'll bust it out again. But I expect this to be much more standard defense. I'd
love to see if they have even more tricks like that up their sleeves on the Renegade side. It'd be fun to see if they, because, you know, okay, one boost, but do they have more? Have they got other small tricks like that? I've actually seen a variation of what Renegades just did, where you throw the same smoke they threw at Ivy, and then you actually push through it. Before it even pops, you walk through it. Because what the terrorists on the other side will hear is the smoke bloom, and then they'll think, well, they've smoked it off so we can't push through, and then suddenly you're there anyway. Maybe even with a pop flash from your teammates. Just a small audio cue fake, but it can work quite effectively. So I hope Renegades have some tricks up. It's hard to win a whole tournament on tricks, but best of one games, you can.
Right, yeah, and especially when you're down 6-13, but you know, bringing out a couple of those gimmicks, a couple of those cheesy plays, you know, help you get back into the game. And now you can see Renegades winning that fourth round, but enough money was built up by TSM. They did go for another buy, so they have 3 AK-47s, 2 Tech 9s. So they're not going to give it away quite just yet. They know that this is a pretty decent opportunity for them to keep the pressure on Renegades in terms of their economy.
And just to catch everyone up as well, if you are just joining us here, the score currently 13-6. The way we got here was Renegades winning 5 rounds in a row, then TSM winning quite literally 13 rounds in a row before finally the Australian team came back and won a round. So the mental state for Renegades has also got to be just a little bit, you know, pressured right now.
Yeah, that's a long drought, a long winless drought to have to suffer through. So finally back on it.
They are Australians, though. I think they're used to some of that roughness right there. I reckon.
Oh, either way, and then this is now you're in that situation where this round is so crucial. If Renegades loses this, they really don't have an avenue back into the match because they're going to be forced onto an eco. Money will be reset. That'll allow Team TSM to get up towards that 15 rounds. Basically, it'll be 15-6 after that.
Yeah, that is pretty much inevitable, so we'll see if it's going to be that way. Pause is still going on, so I'm suspecting this is not a sort of a tactical pause, but a technical one. Probably some minor issues. Do not worry, guys. We'll be obviously right back into it. Device flexing those muscles. Look at that. Pasha, someone's coming for you.
All right, he's got your number.
Someone should do a bit of a Photoshop here. There's a good opportunity, Reddit, if you're
Sponge still flanking. He's going to find one more in ladder room. Takes him down. 3 kills for him so far in this round. Device got there very quickly, very aggressively. Not able to do anything with it. But him and Dupree, they're locking things down, stopping this retake.
Oh, wow. Dupree getting a lot out of that sniper spot. But Device will go down. And Renegades, they retake that site. Really, really good job. They managed to sandwich Sipnix and Popdog there. I think we may have missed like a hilarious moment, because I think actually JKS wanted to get down the Popdog ladder, and I think he was going to pop flash himself in, which, by the way, is something that so many teams are incredibly bad at doing. That pop flash is not that difficult to throw. Anyone can do it, but a lot of teams fail to do it anyway. I think JKS managed to flash himself, so that could have been Sipnix coming away with a pretty big lead there. Anyway, it's 13-7, and a lot of Molotovs here on the Renegades side, and nothing much on the Danish side, although a smoke and a flashbang.
Economy's still low for Renegades because of all the damage. Look at how much more fast-paced TSM is. Well, Cajun B not even caring about that smoke or the Molotov. Although JKS, he doesn't get the kill. He takes 2 out instead.
Finally, Cajun there with a bit of a reply. Bomb is actually on Cajun, so he's run past the bomb site with the bomb. Dupree with a 1, with a 2. Oh no, what's going on? Almost a 3rd one. Dupree getting so close to it. Azza there just shut it down, as it seems like it always is. Azza currently at 22 kills, still top fragging in this game. Dupree and Carrigan both at 20, so they're close behind, but not quite catching up yet. That was great. JKS actually, if he doesn't get those 2 kills and Cajun is allowed to run back in, that's a very scary round for Renegades. A really good job on JKS, I think.
A really good job by TSM. This is something we didn't see out of Renegades. Through that losing streak that they had, they never did this. They weren't doing this much damage on save rounds or anything like that. They weren't getting those kills. Azur pushes up, grabs 1 over towards mid. What that damage has done is virtually, despite winning 3 rounds in a row, the economy for Renegades is still so weak.
And there's that pop flash that we were talking about. So great job actually on Azza getting out of there alive, because you can't turn away from it. It's so quick, and Sponge picking up a double Device with the return, but now it's a 2v4. That was a very, very good sequence from both players. So Sipnix had the perfect pop flash that we were just talking about, but Azur actually countered it by just having really good game mechanics and map knowledge. He could navigate the map, even flash. So very important, tiny detail, but I love it.
And this is a pretty solid defense, very different from what we saw at TSM. Was, you know, they wanted to play a little bit farther back. They had Kerrigan up close, but you can see Sponge and a teammate playing very aggressively at the choke point, not letting them get out. They're pushing down that train yard, not letting TSM gain any kind of map control early on.
JKS getting to 1, getting both of them, and Cajun and Device not allowed to do anything more, and 4 people surviving. So Moses, maybe they are listening to your sage advice here. It's getting more people to stay alive, building up that economy, and we're looking at 13-9.
Yeah, and it's good stuff. I'm actually surprised they had an opportunity to grab an AWP on the ground for Yam, but they didn't do it. It is going to be another eco out of TSM, and Renegades, they've got to solve it. They can't lose 3 players again. They have to get some bank built up.
It's all smokes though on TSM, so maybe a chance for a bomb plant here. They're going to go for the wall of smokes that Renegades themselves tended to use quite a bit here. We're going to see if this execute is going to at least net them a bomb plant. That would be, I think, the goal of this. Also smoking down Ivy. That was Sipnix all the way up from Brown Hole, so pretty effective all around. And now they're in the A courtyard. Can they get that bomb down to Dupree? Trying to see if he can distract a little bit. And there's the bomb plant. No one dying before the plant. That's unusual.
Right, well, it's just Renegades playing it safe. You know, knowing it's an eco round, they're like, just don't give anything up. We'll win the post plant. Give them the plant as long as we don't lose this round. Not wanting to give up Colts, and now the retake is on. Azur's going to find 1 more. Cajun has a clever angle, but can't do anything. This is really good from Renegades. 4 players potentially going to survive this round. Sponge gets got down very low.
Very good job. Yeah, only losing 1, and you're right, not trying to push the issue, just letting them plant and moving on from there. So I love that. That's a very good point you brought up, and it's going to bring us into the 24th round. With
so many players surviving and not trying to make a play through the smokes or anything like that, they also cordoned TSM into like a certain section of the map. They knew the spots that TSM could be in. You know, they're not going to let them push up and push down some of those lanes towards CT spot. They're not going to let them get up into heaven, so they didn't even have to clear those on the retake.
Well, a lot of Molotovs on both sides of the map right now. 4 currently on TSM. We'll see if they can come up with a cool execute. Havoc there. Pop flash or no pop flash, he simply blocked it off with a smoke, and that's a good idea. Something that usually, I think Fnatic is a team that won't throw that smoke inside Popdog, but they'll throw it outside where the door is. So just a little bit further back, and then they'll just cover the A courtyard. If we see Fnatic play later on train, maybe you guys will get a chance to catch some of that. Cajun playing very carefully down on Ivy, and I don't blame him. And this looks like Renegades have got pretty good control of the map right now.
Yeah, they do. Although Yam is... this part's a little scary because TSM actually forced Yam to fall back, and you can see the response from Sponge. He doesn't have cover from behind, so he's got to... He turns around on top of that train. So that's a nice smoke from TSM to change up the defense like that.
Havoc here. Got to be a little bit careful when you move that much forward because you actually can shoot through the ceiling or the floor in Pop Dog there from the terrorist side and CT side. So obviously it's a little bit more scary if you're on the CT side because you're going to get shot in the head, whereas you're going to shoot them in the feet. So got to be a bit careful there, but it's actually very penetrable over there. Now, 27 seconds left as the Danish team tries to execute. That's not a lot of time. We'll see if they can make it. Havoc here spraying down already, almost taking down KJB, but he's going to drop to Karrigan. And Yam, double Molotov. He's going to have to move. I think he went up the ladder instead. Bomb is not quite down yet. It's not going to go down. 10 seconds left. The Australians, they're going to win the round and make it to 11-13 here. Device trying to see if he can sneak out. He's got to either die or escape. Clock's out if they find him now. That would be a disaster. He's going to get the shot here. Clock isn't going to run out. He goes down. And that means no loss bonus. He's down to 700 and the rest of his team can buy. That's a huge impact kill at the end.
Yeah, that's massive that they got that. A nice defense, and it looked very, very grim as Havoc went down. Too many angles for him to worry about, and then the bomb gets planted. But Yam coming up huge out there. He got double mollied. It was forced up the sniper nest, and TSM had no response. They forced him exactly where they wanted to, but they couldn't get him out of the sniper nest.
Wow, this has turned into a real game now. 13-11. When we were at 13-9, if TSM had won that round, they would have pretty closed out the game right then and there. But Renegades managed to just barely hold on, and now they've got a real shot at actually making the full comeback, and that would be ridiculous. TSM has taken 13 rounds in a row, and then it was 13-6, and since then Renegades have won every single round. Yep. Very strange game.
And Karrigan's going to be the one who gets out first with that Tech 9, trying to find a little bit of a cheeky kill, but Sponge hunts him down. There's Device with that AWP, picks off Sponge and returns, so down to a 4-on-4 now.
Bit of an annoying flashbang, but no follow-up. Molotov as well. Havoc just trying to keep Cajun back over by Ivy. Bomb is still all the way back, and it's on Device with that AWP. So let's see where they're going to go for it.
It's interesting to me that Renegades has 2 members still on the inner bomb site, so they've just split this defense up. 2 members outside, 2 members inside. Not trying to cheat anywhere. Actually, as I say that, Azure tries to cheat towards inner. They think it's going to be an inner. This is a good fake from TSM.
Yeah, he's rotating a little bit back, so he's trying to stay very mobile at the moment. But as it goes down, and on the bomb site, Havoc going to go as well. Sipnix with the double kill. Great opening. That is worth its weight in gold. And with that bomb plant, Renegades, what are they going to do here? They've got the money to try and fight it. Almost all of them. Yam going to go down, and JKS, if he could save the rifle here, I think it's going to be a full buy in the upcoming round anyway. I think the rest could be dropped for, so he actually has to save this rifle. I wonder if TSM are going to realize.
They're not going to hunt. They don't have the money to go hunt for him down. They want to preserve their economy more than they're willing to impact Renegades. So JKS should get away with this for free. But that it wasn't even really a planned fake, I don't think. They just drew, one player got drawn towards inner. It was a bad read by Renegades, and just that little bit of misposition on the rotate.
Yeah.
I mean, that just did everything.
I could tell that there was a bit of discontent in your voice as you said they've got 4 people left and they've stacked it equally, so there's 2 on A, 2 on B. Why is that a problem if you're playing against a team like TSM?
It's not a problem. It's just interesting that normally you can have 2 players on the outside and you're going to have a player and connector with those fast rotates to support each bomb site.
Yeah. And
if you're going to split your defense up into 2 on 2, 2 on A, 2 on B, don't cheat the rotator before you have the intel. I mean, that was the biggest problem of all of it.
All right, so just maybe calling that before they had the information. Fair enough. Well, it works out for Renegades anyway here. They're at 14... Oh, sorry, for TSM, they're at 14-11 now. Just 2 more rounds, and they're going to be able to make it work. JKS, again, aggressive, and also down on Ivy. So sort of back to a similar setup as earlier for the Renegades team. But you can tell, and you said this earlier, TSM are going to be more careful now than they were earlier because they already ran into this setup once. Molotovs go down, JKS right at the corner, and Dupree sees it coming, so you're dead on Moses. That's exactly what happened, and now they're a man up. Havoc going to try and see if he can get in here. Karrigan goes down, so good return frag from Yam. But now Device is ready. Oh, look at that, Yam.
What a shot.
That was a really good shot, but also Yam trying to use the ladder mechanics there to get out really quick from behind the train, and Sponge will take down Cajun.
Yeah, but complete control of this A site for TSM. Sponge playing behind his smoke. He can't see anything going on past the smoke. He's going to try and throw a flash up, see if he can delay some a little bit. Havoc's in the connector. Azer's finally rotating over, but complete control for TSM, and as the smoke fades, Device finds Sponge, and retake looking dire. 2 on 2 now.
They do have a lot of utility on Asa. He's got a couple of grenades here. Dupree, he could get Molotov'd out. Device going to miss the shot as well. Are they going to be able to use some of them? That Molotov is still in play. Bomb, is it being defused? Asa is on it. Device getting close, and he takes him down, and that should be the round. Havoc here, he does not have a lot of time. Going to have to try and see if he can find Device, who's back here with the Tech 9. He's got the triple. He's looking for the quad. He's faking it once, and Device, he gets the shot, and that's the quad kill. And the TSM going to make it to 15-11. It's match and map point.
Yeah, very well done from TSM in that situation. Device, Yam gets that tray, but it gives Device that angle. He takes the opportunity to grab that angle and then picks off the Opper, and as they go in 3-on-3, they have just so much control. They had players were in perfect positioning to pretty much control every single choke point as the retake came into play.
We'll see. 27th round. Renegades now looking for 4 in a row to bring it to overtime, which is definitely doable. If they break TSM's economy, that might be it. Carrigan quickly out. He goes down. Instant headshot by Azar and that for Mars. And now Device trying to see if he can sneak in a follow-up kill, but Sponge is also here. If they get close to Device, there's got no chance. Sponge jumping in. He gets the shot mid-air. Device to the pre-picks up JKS. Oh no. If he had missed that shot, Device, he would have gone down immediately. Dupree from the back lines, it's long-range spray, but against the UMP, it just might work. Havoc alone in a 1v4, and it seems like TSM coming back in this game, and Cajun to get the final kill, 16-11. What a strange game, Moses. Some really long streaks here for both teams.
Right, yeah, there was no real back and forth going on. It was just teams with trading complete control of the matchup. And that was, the big thing just came down to TSM, more experience, you know, just better at adjusting when they found things out. You talked about how much can those gimmick plays that Renegades was throwing out early on, how much can those actually be effective, how long for?
Yeah.
And TSM wasn't going to fall for those twice.
No, not long enough, and you called it. I mean, the first time we saw it, you were pointing it out that that's a big problem. You try and do that again, they're going to be more careful, and I think it was Dupree to get that kill on JKS over there. So overall, I'd say a very strange matchup, and I guess it also gives you a bit of an insight into how difficult it is to adjust on the fly when you're in a situation like this. Renegades,
especially against some of the best teams in the world.
Especially against some of the best. I mean, you saw that one setup from Carrigan. It took a while before Renegades even tried to change it up.
To neutralize him, yeah. Yeah, he sat in there 3 or 4 rounds in a row. I mean, that's the thing. That's kind of where, when you get 5 rounds so early on, you feel really good because you're feeling like, you know, you're going to add 2 or 3 onto that throughout the next 10 rounds. But they just got shut out completely.
And how much easier, I mean, we can tell that Carrigan is doing the same thing over and over again. How difficult is it for Renegades to see that same thing when they're in the game?
It's something that you should notice, to be quite honest, or be mindful of, or find some, or like say something. You know, someone, they might have actually said, we actually don't hear their comms, but someone might have said, Carrigan, how do we take care of this spot? There's got to be a plan for that spot, and that's what that pause they took at that point was all about, was finding a way to flush Carrigan out of there.
And even with Tech 9s, you could tell that they were sort of gunning for him, and they did actually manage to run him down. So
the hard part is when they took that pause, so much money had been built up for TSM. They had the smokes, they had the Molotovs to delay everything out of that mid choke point. So that's the hard part, because they've let the utility build up on the defense. They were in a force buy situation. They don't have a lot to use themselves. Yeah. And that's where it got into a really sticky situation.
Well, that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. We'll send it over to the desk for a post-match interview. So, Chobra, take it away.
Thank you, gentlemen. We are indeed prepared with another winner after match 2. TSM taking that one against the Renegades. Congratulations are in order, of course, going on to the winners match. But let's rewind to the very beginning. Renegades looked like they were going to just take control of the match the first 5 rounds. What was it like after the first 5 rounds? I mean, were you guys worried at all? Were you a little bit surprised at how Renegades played? Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, obviously we haven't played that Renegades that much, especially because they come from Australia. You don't really practice them that much. They always come with like they want to surprise everyone, so they are really prepared in terms of their like set goes. One of the things is, like, in the piss round we got totally outplayed. Like, they just kept us rotating, and I didn't even think we killed one guy. And the same happened for the first buy round. They pulled out something we weren't prepared for, and we lost that round, and then we were behind 5-0. But then again, like, we had lost a piss round. That's obviously sometimes, like, usually 3 rounds you lose there, and then the first buy round you need to eco 1, so you're behind 5-0 before you can actually start buying again. So, I mean, like, we have only lost, like, 2 real rounds kind of for us, we felt like. So we didn't worry that much, but we need that. We had to step up to win this game.
Right on. Henry, how did you view that game between TSM and Renegades?
Well, the whole thing was when you go 5-0 up, like we've been just dissecting this whole time, to lose 13 rounds in a row, that's like all that morale and momentum you built up. It's so crushing. It must have been so hard to even think about getting back into that game. When you 13 rounds drop after that, it looked like TSM at that point were just waiting to draw out the victory. You saw the look on the faces of Renegades when they were looking down the barrel of losing that map. They took a pause trying to work out what they could have done there. But were you guys were you prepared for the set pieces after the initial gun round? That's all they really seem to bring to the party. There's the set pieces on the way. Weren't really getting any bombs down, and to be honest, your MVP, I think, your CT side was Carrigan. He was locking them down at that main entrance. Yeah,
Carrigan did a really good job. Like he kind of figured out that he started playing aggressive, like trying to break down the actual setup for their set goal. Like they had put up the smokes and stuff, but their actually entry onto the bomb side was actually not as good as they wanted to, I guess. So he figured that out really fast.
I think that he was the main problem, though. As soon as they went out to do their set pieces, he was just running around that first train. It's like causing chaos. They weren't even able to get out without a frag being exchanged.
It was basically just like killing the first 1 or 2 guys, and then the entire goal would just like fall apart, and everyone trying to push through smokes and alley and whatnot. Then it was just to wrap up the kills and win the round. Yeah.
All right. What about you, Flaren? How'd you view that game?
I think it was solid from TSM. Obviously, you can't really base the score too much. Start T side, losing the pistol, being down 5-0. You can't really expect too much. 5 rounds, I'd say, without the pistol is a very good half, especially considering that TSM is a really good CT-sided team. So I was going to ask you, though, obviously from playing, used to playing Dignitas and also coping Wolves with Fetish calling and stuff, you never played Train. Was it because of Carrigan came in now that you started playing Train, or did you all just feel like, actually, we need one more map in our pool, and Train will actually suit us?
Yeah, it was basically, there's 2 things. Like, the map was reworked, first of all. That was the first thing. Like, everyone got back to the same stage. Everyone had to figure out how to play the map. So no one really had the biggest advantage no one really know how to play it yet. Obviously, now people do, because it's some time ago. But yeah, also Carrigan, like, we feel like one of our strengths has been in the past is that we've had a really, like, well, with Fetish and stuff, we didn't have that strong of a map pool. We always seem to have to remove a map we could not play instead of removing one of their opponent's best maps. Like, that's where we wanted to do something. And obviously, since Nuke was removed, we kind of lost a key map for us as well. But having a strong map pool is probably one of the things that get you to the furthest in tournaments. So yeah.
Would you say that Train is your best map?
So that was my question.
No, not at all. Like, I wouldn't say Train is our best map. It's a decent map for us. I think we've only lost 1 official on it throughout the entire thing we played. But I wouldn't say it's a strong map. We still have a few things on it that we want to do better, but I think we're still solid on it. When we get our game going like we did on CT, I think it starts to work out, and yeah, I think we can. Yeah.
And how excited are you to trash on IP now?
Oh, well, last time we played it was really close. I think it was 16-14 at the Faceit stage last time. Obviously, it's always fun to play NIP, and back in the days, we've had shitloads of struggles with them. So, yeah, I always look forward to playing NIP. It's always a great game. So, yeah, definitely a good game.
Yeah, that is upcoming match, so we won't keep you too long. You do have to go prepare for that winners match. Once again, congratulations. Moving on to the winners match of Group A. We'll find out who moves out as the first seed in Group A shortly. But during the break, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't yet, don't forget to go buy the team stickers and the player signatures in-game. Go ahead and support the players and the teams you love that you'll be watching this major. For us, we'll be back right after this break.